So what I'm known for is the mass blasts, which is very short duration, high amount of bodybuilding chemistry, and your life revolves around training, eating, and taking as many injections as you can, basically, in a short period of time. And the idea is that if you take every muscle growth pathway and you remove every limiting factor, that there's not really that many bottlenecks to muscle growth. Like, you can actually grow muscle very, very fast. If you, so if we did this experiment on people who'd never touched steroids before, and we blasted them with growth hormone, insulin, IGF, and something from every pathway, something to lower myostatin, like a SARM YK11. And then from the steroid side, maybe be like testosterone, which would also then convert to estrogen. So we'd have the estrogen pathway, the testosterone pathway, and then we'd add something like a trenbolone, which works through different pathways besides just the androgen receptor. And the results, because all of this was an experiment, but the results were pretty shocking. Like, we do their first steroid cycle, they get the most amount of permanent gains from it. And it's almost like everybody should do a first steroid cycle, because you do that, it's like your body levels up. You go like you go through puberty, and then you do a steroid cycle, and it's like you go through another puberty, and the body just develops more. And so I think if I have a son, I don't have a son, I have daughters, but if I had a son, I would say, son, I think you should at least do one steroid cycle during your life, just to develop that.
People yesterday that I'm interviewing you. So of course the traffic, for episode 4, season 1 came up over and over again. So I would like to ask you about that. How real was that? Or was it heavily edited in their favor? How do you feel about that later on when you watched it?
Well, it was very dangerous for me to do that, and a lot of people advised against it, and it did have some serious repercussions afterwards. And heck, anytime law enforcement takes a look at me, or governments take a look at me again, they look at that, and that gives them all the cause they need to investigate me further, which has caused me a lot of headaches. Steroids were a huge positive addition to my life, and I would not go back and not do steroids. I would go back and I would do steroids earlier if I could. And I think more people could benefit from taking more steroids than would benefit from not taking steroids. I think the misinformation.
How did you end up in Thailand? I think you went to a lot of places in this world, and you checked here and there in Europe as well and whatnot. But how did you end up in Thailand? Tell us.
Yeah, sex tour.
Oh, okay.
Now, I remember sitting at Tinder dates just laughing to myself, like, how ridiculous. This girl sitting across from me playing these emotional games. She's ugly. She's fat. She's giving me a hard time. She's got an ego. And I'm just laughing to myself, like, how ridiculous is that this girl even remotely thinks that this is like whatever that is attractive to me.
Tony, wait, Tony, time out. So she sent you actually pictures where she was pretty, or what was the reason you would take out on an ugly fat girl? Come on, Tony.
Because your standards get lower and lower the hornier you get.
But you're a good-looking guy and you're a lawyer. Come on, man.
Yeah, but I've got a large appetite.
So you're not hiding out. You're having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hiding out more now than I have for a long time, because my friend Leo died in my house, and that brought so much drama to me. And I realized how dangerous it is to have so many people close to me. So I've maintained more privacy more recently. Like, now I see some value of privacy. So
the girls with the kids don't live with you,
right? So
you can have your sex parties in your house and have fun.
Right.
But you're one interesting guy, and I don't know if my wife loves you so much, but I do. So congratulations to that.
She's not going to let you hang out with me.
So I've seen that footage in the documentary about you having a deposition. Are your legal problems a thing of the past in the United States?
Yeah, everything is finalized. Everything is done. Nothing bad happened. But the problem with these type of investigations is they destroy your entire life, whether you're guilty. So excited. My friend leans over to me and says, my girl's a lady boy, and I think yours is too. Ask her if she's a lady boy. And I was like, no way, not possible. I've heard of this, but this couldn't possibly be. Asked her if she's a lady boy. She says, yes, but I have a pussy. And she showed me her pussy, and it was a perfect pussy.
What, right there in the bar?
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit, just quickly, a couple things about your protocol back then? That would be amazing if you're able to.
I can
okay. Let's just take insulin, for example. That's a fascinating thing for me.
So I checked my early morning blood sugar every week. When I was over 90, I started to use Lantus before bedtime. So usually when I used 10, 20, the maximum 30 Lantus, my blood sugar was perfect in the morning. During periods when my blood sugar was fine, I reduced Lantus, and there were times where I didn't need it. Sometimes I did high saturation days, on days off where I ate a lot of carbs. Then I took a lot more Lantus, even twice a day, 50, 60 units twice a day.